Federal government's desperate moves to nail Sunday Igboho. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all depending on the time we're reaching you guys. Welcome back to our channel. It's really good to have you guys back here again. And guys, thank you once again for your support to this channel. God bless you. Sunday Igboho is the Yoruba nation agitator who has been fighting for his people. He's just a freedom fighter. All he is against is injustice, marginalization. We know he started this struggle in January when he initially gave ultimatum to Fulani herdsmen to evacuate, to leave the Barapa area of Oyo State. And then from then, he saw how Buhari's government, how they resisted it, how they kicked against it, and how they were supporting Fulani herdsmen. And he saw that this thing wasn't balanced. There was no fairness. And that was when he stated that enough is enough. And we know how everything he's gone through, all of the struggle, his accounts being frozen, house burnt, DSS attacking, going to his residence, but he wasn't there. And finally, how Brutai wrote to Beninese government and how they held him. Sunday Igboho is still in detention as we speak. We know all that has been going on, but Buhari's government, they are so desperate to nail him because the strategy they are using is that in order to stop this move, they need to nail the man at the top, and it's Sunday Igboho who has been spearheading all of this. We'll bring you all of the details what is going on. We've got a detailed report on all President Muhammad Buhari is doing and his desperation, all his desperate moves to nail Sunday Igboho, just like they are doing to Nnamdi Kanu. Imagine after months in detention, Buhari's government, they are coming up with amended charges against him, adding 7 more charges against him. It shows the desperation that they've run out of options. They are even confused. They know that these guys won't break. Maybe they feel that holding him, he will break and he will just give up, that you know what, there is no more, I'm no more agitating, can I go now? But they are not getting that. And that is why they are more desperate to see that they finish them. It will not happen because they've got the support of Nigerians. Well, guys, we'll bring you all of the details in a moment. But before we do, please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. Thank you once again. Man has learned to conceal ignoble motives, at least to maintain decorum and keep societal standards, but acting based on wrong motives is least expected from those in position of leadership or authority who hold power in trust for the people. It is especially so because people look up to them not only to maintain standards, but to set new ones that will further instill sanity and boost the pride and confidence of members of the society, groups, or family in them. Yet, this expectation has not been met in the way the federal government is desperately pulling every available string together to weave a web of criminality around the embattled Yoruba nation agitator, Chief Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho, in order to justify its plan to kill or incarcerate him, as established by the court. Igboho came to national limelight on January 7th this year when he carried out his threat to evict the Siriki Fulani of Igongo, Soli Abdulkadir, against all odds. Igongo, an agrarian community perched on the northern part of the Barapa land in Oyo State. His celebrated visit followed the previous 1-2 weeks earlier, during which he ordered Abdul Kadi to leave the town or face eviction by him. His decision was rooted in personal confirmation that the Fulani leader was allegedly fronting for kidnappers and armed robbers, in addition to shielding his kinsmen from facing the consequences of deliberately grazing their cattle on farms. Cases of murder and kidnapping for ransom in the entire Barapa land reached a crescendo last year, and about 85% of the cases were allegedly traced to some criminal Fulani elements in the area. Residents of the entire area, which covers 3 local governments, began to live in fear, while visitors and business people stayed away for fear of being kidnapped or murdered. The murder of a leading light in the town, Dr. Fatai Aburode, late last year was the last straw for the criminals. Abdulkadir relocated from the town on hearing that Igboho and his aides were on their way to Igongo on the fateful day. Whereas the activist landed in the community against warning by the government, irate youth seized the moment to also touch the Fulani leader's palace, ostensibly to prevent him from returning. Igboho will later transform his project to an agitation for Yoruba nation, lending his voice to the allegation that the Buhari-led federal government was tactically supporting the excesses of the Fulani across Nigeria. He took his campaign to some other southwest states, drumming support for the self-determination of the Yoruba. The crude response of the federal government to Igboho's project came in the wee hours of July 1st when operatives of the Department of State Services (DSS) invaded his Soka Ibadan house. They shot their way through, killing 2 persons, vandalizing his property, and seized some items which they took to their headquarters in Abuja. Luckily for Igboho, he escaped. He later escaped to Benin Republic, where he was arrested on July 18th. He's still being held by the country's authorities, just as the Nigerian government is apparently still fishing for grounds to extradite him to face trumped-up charges. As affirmed by Justice Ladiran Akintola of Oyo State High Court in his judgment in Igboho's case, the DSS and its Oyo State Director rather justified the invasion of Igboho's house on the basis of their claim to investigate or following up on an intelligence which is at best a suspicion. Yet, suspicion, no matter how strong, cannot take the place of legal proof in law. Nobody gets convicted or punished on the basis of suspicion. What the second and third respondent, DSS and its state director, have done in the instant case has been to condemn the applicant without trial based on mere suspicion, he held. The judge further affirmed Igboho's right to agitate for self-determination by upholding his lawyer's argument that the July 1st invasion was actuated by their desire to stop the applicant from going round the southwestern part of Nigeria and peacefully campaigning at rallies attended by millions of indigenous Yoruba people for self-determination. To further nail its motive for wanting Igboho dead, as argued by the head counsel Chief Yomi Aliyu San in the hearing of the originating motion at the Oyo State High Court, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami also ingeniously linked the embattled activists with terrorist funding in a press conference on October 2022. It was a failed attempt, as the evidence adduced to support the claim stood logic in the head. The 3 moves have confirmed that the federal government is only interested in nailing Igboho at all costs while turning deaf ears to the cries of the people of Igongo and other parts of the country where criminal headers are killing, maiming, and kidnapping innocent Nigerians. It is high time President Buhari served justice to all Nigerians so he can earn the trust of all the citizens again. Nailing Sunday Igboho and others who are exercising their fundamental rights peacefully at all costs, I believe, would only aggravate the agitation for self-determination. Restructuring of Nigeria is essential for its social, political, and economic survival. There's need to devolve more power to federating units, embrace fiscal federalism, promote inclusiveness, and serve justice to all citizens accordingly. A better Nigeria guarantees peace and prosperity for all citizens and residents alike. Until we deliberately do these as a nation, anger and mutual suspicion will keep growing, threatening our peaceful coexistence and killing patriotism in citizens. Now is the time to bring the necessary change.